This one is about Freedom Mountain and the hero's journey and loving unafraid. So what we need to know, what you need to remember, I know I'm preaching to the choir, I know you guys, it's not lost on you, but we're all on this journey to Freedom Mountain, right? Some of us are more conscious about it, some of us aren't, but we're all on a way to Freedom Mountain. That journey to Freedom Mountain is otherwise sometimes called the hero's journey or the heroine's journey. Hero's journey is the outside, slaying dragons, rescuing princesses, and being the hero of the day and of the war on the outside. The heroine's journey is the internal awakening, starting to live with more truth and more power and more genuineness, and that's the heroine's journey. How you answer this call is up to you. It's the call to aliveness, to joy, to prosperity, meaningful prosperity, like being on purpose with your gift and really feeling that. And there are on this journey, if we look at Freedom Mountain in terms of a diagram here, there are 3 sides to Freedom Mountain. Right? This is Freedom Mountain. This is what we're all after. Here we are, starting out on the journey. And we're, it's full of the trials and tribulations and whatnot of, the joys and the sorrows. This is life. This is how you stitch together a meaningful life. You work with both. We all have plenty of both. And in the end, what we do is we have to aim for one of the 3 areas. We've been talking about one slope of Freedom Mountain. The 3 sides of Freedom Mountain is the self. The other one is relationships, which we've been talking about in this series, but at the back side there, if you can see that, that is work, or if you're doing what you love to do, and you're on gift, and you're on purpose, then that's what we call service. So we're all on this path to Freedom Mountain, and we're all going through the various joys and sorrows, and eventually we all have to find our way up these. Eventually we find our way up this slope of the mountain with ourselves. We do the same thing with the service or work. We go up the mountain there. But we also have to come around here, and we've been talking about it as coming up the relationship slope of Freedom Mountain while working with others. Those are the 3 domains of life. And we all set off to find Freedom Mountain, but we learn. The main thing I want you to get today is how you travel. So how you travel is really crucial. Are you going to travel? Well, obviously, on one level, there's the vehicle you're going to take, right? What's the vehicle you're going to travel in? A plane, a bike, a car, a boat. And the second thing is more about the way my teachers taught me is, what are you going to walk with? Are you going to travel? Are you going to travel with fear, or are you going to travel with love? If you're going to travel with love, then you're going to learn how to travel with even a fuller, more expressed version of loving unafraid. The fear will go. So the quality, it's basically a love or fear. Now we could paint fear if you learn to, so how you travel will determine the destination. That's the way I was taught. So if you travel with fear on a bike or a plane or whatever it is, you're going to end up in what we call a mean-spirited roadside house. You're going to get, you may have money and stuff, but you're going to end up here in a miserable old house, it's just ugly. And it's the same smell, it's the same taste of cigarettes and smell of ale, and they're playing the same music, and it's the same tone, it's the same song, and it just goes round and round and round, a world of addiction and suffering and anxiety and despair. But if you learn to travel with love, you're going to end up in a place that is called Freedom Mountain, that will be fully expressed, where you will belong to one and many. You will experience unity without effort, and you will have work that is harmoniously useful. Work or service to your service to humanity, you feel that full expression of who you are, delivering to a meaningful need. So this is your choice. some people wait, okay, well, I'll just make not lots of money now. I'll just go up, my work thing and just do 10 out of 10 there, but only in myself, not take care of myself or others in my relationship. And so they arrive at the top of Freedom Mountain and they realize, oh my God, I am miserable. I've got billions of dollars in the bank. I have no idea who my wife and children are, let alone the butcher, baker, candlestick maker at the base camp, at the base of Freedom Mountain, right? Because this is where all our peeps are, right? This is where our village is right down at the base camp of Freedom Mountain, right? You remember this. So this is all the way around. I'm putting these. It's supposed to look like that. Can you see that? So it's all the way around at the bottom, and that is what we need to be warm, right? That's the warmth that we're all after. Not lost on you that it's pretty darn cold at the top and isolated on your own, but we do need to go up to the top of Freedom Mountain in these areas to really realize ourself. With ourself, we need to discover that freedom. We need to find that awakefulness, that joy, that vitality. In relationships, we really need to deepen that intimacy and feel that is like to live loving unafraid. So, and then with work, we want to experience that genuine prosperity and meaning and purpose and feeling like we understand why we're here, our contribution, and we really feel on task with that. And it's aimed towards a meaningful need that's making a big difference in the world. So the hero's journey in Loving Unafraid is really about this and not getting sidetracked. When you travel with love, you get very good at declining the invitation to a mean-spirited roadside house. You get really, really good at that. So the idea in the morning is that you fill your cup up before you head out, before you open the door. I've said this before, but this is how I was trained. My numbers had to be at a 7.13 in terms of loving unafraid, feeling that. So I had to do body, mind, soul practice. And then left, and then I found my way gradually, working the various slopes. It's not just one up and the next one up, although some people it's more like that. But the journey itself is about just finding your way into this rhythm with each of these slopes, right? So you have to find a rhythm with yourself to be able to go up and down and be, you've got to be able to handle the sorrows and the joys of your life. It's very accurate. The circumstances of your life are your ticket. It's very precise to learning how to love unafraid. So your ticket to loving unafraid is being able to weave up and down through the joys and sorrows of life. If it's in relationship, it's the same thing. You need to be able to go up and down this slope. It's not just static at the top. A lot of people have got Academy Awards and frozen to death up here. It's cold. You need village people. You know that. The interneurobiology of relationship now is, the research on this is so in. It's so important that we start to continue to acknowledge each other and really support each other. Is this clear? I'm sure it's clear. So traveling with love allows you to access loving unafraid. It's a verb, it's not a noun, right? So you get this. So we're deciders. We need to set a very clear intention that we're going to travel with love from the get-go, or we're going to travel with fear, and we're going to hopefully work our asses off, and then hopefully somebody might come in the door. Not so much. Happiness is the way. Love is the way. Joy is the way, right? So I'm just looking at my notes. Other things I want to say to you. Your journey is very succinct. Don't be throwing away and neglecting what's coming to you, what's knocking on your door. That is designed to get you into this loving unafraid. Okay? I can't get that. Can I get that rhythm in the back? So we have a rhythm with all of this. Why? Because we each have a song that comes from the sound of who we are that tells us to remember the dance. And when we're doing our rhythm in each of these three areas of our life, when we're on task with that and we're traveling with all of that sound and song, we never forget our dance. Like my village will tell you, I'm a bit of a wild dancer, but It's my own way. It's my own version. Have you ever seen anybody who dances the same? No, of course not. So you want to remember that it's not about one standing on the top of Freedom Mountain. You'll freeze to death. It's not about hanging out in the village. It'd be too much relationship and too much village. That can also drive you crazy. It's about this rhythm. And this rhythm is your sound, your song, your dance, and your gift to humanity. And that is Loving Unafraid and the hero's journey. So remember, my teachers taught, you will never be abandoned when you travel with love. When you travel with love, it is your companion, it is your friend, it is your lover. It will always serve you. So I want to encourage you to travel with love. I want to encourage you to look at the rest of these videos, and I want to encourage you to send me a note. Tell me how you're doing with all of this material that I've flung at you. Ask some questions if you need to. If you're not traveling with love, perhaps now's the time to start. Bye for now.